So it's raining, so it might be a tad loud in the background, but I just wanted to share this story because this was absolutely mind-boggling tonight. Alright, so first off, I'm going to let you know that I went to my friend's house. I'm not going to say who it is. But when I first got there, I just started having, like, I don't know, like this heavy feeling on my chest and just kept feeling like anxiety. Felt like I was having some type of panic attack slightly. It wasn't too heavy. I just felt anxiety, and it's like I feel like wanting to cry right now just thinking about it because I've always been very intuitive. Anyways, so while I was there, it continued. I even took some medication, Tylenol, to try to like relieve the tension in my head that was building while I was there. And there was 3 of us there when I arrived. And then one of us left before I did because I had got there a little bit late. So then there was just 2 of us. We were laughing, hanging out, having a great time. Then all of a sudden you hear a knock at the door. And so she went to go to the door and I followed right behind her because she lives alone. You know, I try to help her, you know, when I'm there, of course, whenever I can. I didn't want her to go by herself. So anyways, we go to the door and it's a man at the door. And I've never seen this man ever, and it's making me literally cry right now. So we were standing there eye to eye with this man that we didn't know, and he was begging for our help at the door. He was banging on the window, putting his hand up, saying he needed help. It looked like he was constantly looking behind him, leaning into the door, and just like dragging the screen door with him as he fell backwards and then flung forwards. Then he kicked her door. After I told her, you know, don't let him in, don't let him in. She thought it was someone she knew at first because of his voice, and she can't see very well, and it was in the dark. So she almost opened the door, but I told her, I said, don't you open that door. I just knew, I had a feeling, because when he first came to the door, he was just knocking, and we didn't know who it was. We thought, oh, maybe it's, you know, somebody we knew, you know, and sure enough was not. Okay, so anyways, to get back to the story on that roll, he's begging us, both of us, ma'am, looking me dead in my eyes, I need help, let me in, banging on the window. And then we're like, no. And she picks up a baseball bat. You know, I have something in my hand as well, and I am calling the police department at the same time. And then he starts to kick the door. At that point, I didn't know whether he had a gun or not. I saw a lighter in his hand when he was holding his hands up to the window. I saw a lighter. I just knew that he was very tall, and he seemed young, just from the looks, but I couldn't really tell. I've never seen him before in my life, like I said. So then, after I called the cops, they say they're on the way. The the knocking and kicking on the door stops. He kicked the door about 4 or 5 times trying to get into the house. By this point, me and my friend are shaking. We are scared to death that this guy's gonna come in and just do something. You know, didn't know who he was or what he wanted, or what he was running from, because he kept saying he needed our help. At this point, I did believe that he was on some type of drugs or hallucinogen. I don't know what he was on, but he did seem intoxicated. Couldn't smell his breath, so I don't know if it was alcohol. Anyways, so the kicking, the door stops. He didn't get the door kicked down, and it's like it was like out of a scary movie. We were like checking every window, checking the back door, checking everything to make sure that he couldn't get in a different way. So after we did that, we called her dad, which he lives right around the corner, and he has showed up by this point because the guy, you know, had went on. We didn't know where. We thought he might have went to a different window or door, but he didn't. So her dad was there. He showed up, and he has, you know, his gun permit, and he carries. So we felt protected at this point. We opened the door. We went outside. We looked around. Or he came inside first. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, I just got a text message. Anyways, they came inside. It was her dad and her sister that got there, and by that time we heard somebody yelling outside, and it was a girl. It wasn't a guy. I thought, you know, maybe it was a girl, maybe it was a girlfriend, I'm thinking. And then I go out there, and it's the elderly neighbor, my friend's elderly neighbor, and he had ran inside her house, or she let him in the door. She opened the door for him, and he ran in her house. So my friend's dad went into the elderly lady's house, and began to look for him, you know, in her room, in the bathroom. She asked, you know, where he went, and she thought that he went out the back door, but the back door was still locked, so there's no way he went out the back door. So they're searching everywhere for this man, and the cops finally get there, and he said the only place he could be is the basement because there was no light and he couldn't see, and he didn't know, you know, what to do. There was no light, so he couldn't tell whether anybody was down there or not. Okay, so here's like for the rest of it. Like, I am like crying. This is seriously damaging to my sleep schedule, that's for sure. Anyways, this man was in this elderly lady's house. She's about 80 years old. Was there by herself. Her husband's in the hospital and might be permanently there. So the cops arrive, and they have to wait on backup to go in the house and actually look for the guy, because for some reason one cop can't do it by himself, I guess, apparently. So we're all standing outside waiting to find out where this guy is, if he got out the back door or if he's still in the house. And obviously he didn't get out the back door, so he had to have still been in there. What do you know? They found him. He was in the basement of this elderly woman's house. And to think, if I didn't call the police, what would have happened to her? Like, if we wouldn't have been there or been outside, or, you know, she was screaming very low. It sounded like a regular, you know, someone speaking when she was yelling, because she's an elder lady, like I explained. But anyways, the cops got him. They got him in custody. They calmed all of us down and assured us that he'd be going to jail tonight. And oh my God, we're just all shook the fuck up.